Yes, became the first British driver in 27 years to win the Grand Prix of Monaco. And you're saying to yourself, yeah, look at this. Right, look, they let him race right through the damn street.
Oh, no.
You think it's tough getting a cab here?
Ow.
And look what they win. Look what you win. Look at this. It's holding it. Look at that. Look at that. How about that? Isn't that a... Makes those Emmys look kind of silly, don't it?
That's impressive.
Makes them look like door stops, don't it? Hood ornaments, don't it?
A nice cup over there. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
That's a, yeah. Makes them look like hood ornaments.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome David Coulthard. David? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the United States. Now, you're here in this part of the world because you're racing in Montreal next weekend?
Yep, absolutely.
All right, well, I appreciate some of your time. The championship is going pretty well for you so far, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going really well. I'm catching up with Schumacher, only 12 points behind.
The dreaded Michael Schumacher. Now, do you know this guy off the race, off the course?
Yeah, no, we actually worked together as two of the directors of the Grand Prix Drivers Association working on safety, but the problem is we keep running into each other on the track, so it causes some problems, but...
Is he a nice guy, or is he just, like, evil and arrogant and...
No, he's a nice guy. He's a family man. He is concerned about safety, but on the track, he doesn't give an inch, and, you know, that's fair enough.
Now, let me ask you about something that's a very well-documented, sort of a famous episode between the two of you, and I think it was a couple of years ago, and I think it was the race in Belgium at Spa. Is that right? And it's rainy and misty, and you, I don't know what positions the two of you were running on the track relative to one another, but he slammed into the back of you. It looked like he didn't even see you, didn't slow down, clipped off the side of your car, the side of his car. Fortunately, both of you are all right. Then you go to the pits, and then he hops out of the remnants of his car and comes running down the garages looking for you like, you know, he's going to turn your lights out. Now, that's silly, isn't it?
Well, it was especially silly because I still had my crash helmet on, so I could have taken a punch. No problem.
Boing. Well, you know, I saw that race on television, and it looked to me like he just flat out ran into you. It looked like something I would do. So then I was particularly amused that after he runs into you, he decides he's going to punch you. You know, it's just one of those deals that don't make any sense to me.
No, Michael has been very good throughout his career at deflecting mistakes that he's made and trying to put them as if it's someone else's mistake or someone else's fault.
Now, you say that you guys have a relationship off the track, and so when something like that does happen at a race, how then can you work it out and continue and be friends? Because your competitors, you see each other literally every week of the year with racing and testing and so forth.
Yeah, no, after that event, actually, it was a little bit difficult because he drives for Ferrari, and we had a test in Italy the week later, and we hadn't spoken since the race. And, of course, you know, the Italian fans, even at the test, they turn up and they were booing, and every time I went out the garage, it was really embarrassing. But we sat down before the Grand Prix and you know, talked the whole situation through and decided it was easier to sort of bury the hatchet and continue.
What is it people don't know about this sport in the United States? Tell me about the cars. What makes these cars interesting and special and unique?
Well, it's always this running battle between Formula One and champ cars in terms of what is the sort of premier championship. But we believe that we have the best technology. You know, the engineers that are there come straight out of the aerospace industry, the engines, all that.
Many of the drivers are former astronauts.
Well, yeah, there's definitely a few of them that appear as if they've got their head in space, but I did actually go to Moscow and do the whole astronaut training.
Oh, I saw when they put you on the thing that creates 0 Gs. You know,
yeah. Well, it was quite interesting where you do the diving out of the sky and you float and all that stuff.
Well, why is Formula One so expensive? It's just unbelievably expensive, isn't it?
Driver salaries.
Nah.
No, it's not. It's because of the technology. You know, you know, there's myself and my teammate. The budget for the team is probably about $300 million between
$300 million.
But it's engine development as well goes into all that, and the promotional side, the sponsors, all the sort of thing that goes together. And but you know, it's ourselves and Ferrari probably are up around that area, and the smaller teams don't have it. But it's big business. You know, if you win in Formula One, certainly in Europe, it generates a lot of publicity. And I know in America at the moment we're not so popular, but...
well, now you're coming to Indianapolis in, I guess, September it is. But could you have a competitive, compelling racing series in which a team did not have to spend $300 million to be competitive?
Yeah, well, you have it here, Champ Cars. You know, you have it in NASCAR. You've got some great... sorry, it's not a pop at Champ Cars.
No, it's a fact of life.
Yeah, and you don't have to have it, but the difference is that Formula One is the cutting edge of technology. You know, as I mentioned before, you've got the guys out of aerospace industries want to work in F1 because they can design a part, it'll be produced and on the car in 2 months. If they do that for a fighter jet or something like that, they design it, and 2 years later they see the part. And that's why Formula One is different to the other racing formulas.
You know, I saw the race at Silverstone I don't know when it was, April or sometime, and at one point in the race you passed Rubens Barrichello, a smart-looking move. Now that aside, they're always talking about...
closed at the time.
They're always talking about there is no passing, it's hard to pass, it's impossible to pass with these cars. Is that really the case? Is it too hard to pass? I mean, passing ought to be hard, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it should be. And again, the reason it's difficult to overtake in Formula One is because of the aerodynamics of the car. They generate so much downforce and clean air that when you get behind another car, of course, they steal the air that you're trying to use to make the wings work. And it just makes it difficult to run the car quick in a slipstream.
Yeah. What do you think of Juan Pablo Montoya? You pay any attention to what he's up to?
Yeah, no, he was over in Europe before he came over here to Champ Cars. He won the 3000 championship. He was a Williams test driver. So we know he's an excellent driver.
Kart champion now and Indianapolis 500 champion.
Yeah, that was amazing. Going straight to Indy, wins it first time out. That was a good achievement.
Do you have any interest in driving in the United States other than like the Grand Prix?
Yeah, I've definitely in the future would like to come out here and race in the Champ Car Series. And you know, part of my heart's in America anyway because my fiancée is American.
And how do you see the rest of the season going for you? Because usually it's you, Mika Hakkinen, and Michael Schumacher, and now it's more you and Michael Schumacher. Is it going to stay that way, or are things going to turn?
Well, I hope so. My teammates got other plans, but I certainly would like it to be between myself and Michael.
Why is it always the same two teams? I mean, other than McLaren and Williams, when was the last time another team won the World Championship?
Oh, God, years ago. Oh, more than 10 years ago. It's been a long, long time, and Ferrari hasn't won the championship since... 78 or something like that, a long, long time.
So it's the same two teams over and over.
They've got the budgets, they've got the technology, the best designers, the best engine manufacturers. You know, we've got Mercedes, and they just give a lot of horsepower behind it.
So what's the fastest you go in these cars?
Fastest is Monza. We do 220 miles an hour.
220 miles an hour. And do you ever like sneeze at that speed? What the hell happens then?
Oh, well, I've never actually sneezed in the car, but I don't know if I can mention that there's one thing you can do. You can't pass wind in a corner. You can only do it on the straight.
Well, there's some insight for you.
Yeah. Obviously, you're a bit tense in the corner, so you...
Well, I want you to tell that to the band, all right?
Yeah, no, I hope that's not too rude for
No, it's just fine. Are you kidding for us? That's perfect. That's what we're begging for. We're looking for that. Well, it's nice to see you, and I hope you have a good weekend up there in Montreal. Any predictions for that race?
Well, I've been quickly on the pass, so I would love to be on the winner's podium again.
Good for you, David. Nice to see you. Thank you very much. David Coulthard, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.